They ran it up to 27-6 at the half. Here in the second half, Green Bay took their first 2 possessions down the field and into the end zone. And it's now a 7-point game with Buffalo out in front, 27-20.
I like that literary reference, A Tale of Two Games.
Hand off to Thurman Thomas. Jurkovec there to bring him down. Thomas picked up 4.
That's just tough, hard nose guard work by John Jurkovec. And I told you earlier that he feels like he's playing better because he's lost some weight. He was 307. He went down to 282. Right now he's 293. He told me he feels like a spring chicken. I find that kind of hard to believe. Can't think of him as a spring chicken, but he's moving around the field real well.
Now on second down, Kelly puts it up. He finds his tight end Metzelaars, and Fred Strickland there to wrestle him down. A pickup of 3. It'll bring up a 3rd down for Buffalo.
Well, Strickland put the kind of hit on Metzelaars that would drop most tight ends in their tracks. But Metzelaars is one of your bigger guys, 6'7", so he's rangy, but he's 250 pounds, and he gets going upfield, and he'll get that extra yard or 2.
3rd down. Kelly to put it up over the middle. Andre Reed, 1st down, Buffalo. If you just joined us early in the game, it was that combination, Jim Kelly and Andre Reed. They hooked up for 2 touchdowns. First, it was Thurman Thomas. He banged it in from 5 yards out. Then it was Jim Kelly to Andre Reed. At the half, it was 27-6. Now it's 27-20. On 1st down, Thurman Thomas brought down by John Jurkovec. He just did get back to the line of scrimmage.
You talk about the tale of 2 games, Joe, and boy, the first half you saw the Buffalo Bills and Thurman Thomas just tearing up the middle of this Green Bay Packer defense. Now the Packers are starting to shut the run down the way you'd expect the second-rated rushing defense in the league to do.
2nd down and 10. Kelly to the sideline. Incomplete, and the crowd screaming for a flag. Terrell Buckley there to defend Russell Copeland. No flag, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10. This second half has belonged to Green Bay. The Packers took their first possession of the second half, marched it down the field, and Brett Favre connected with Sterling Sharp. Who else in the seam? Good for 7, and it's just a 7-point game. Now on 3rd and 10, Kelly looking for help, finds Andre Reed. Who else? 1st down, Buffalo.
Jim Kelly's pass complete to
13-yard pickup. Good for a 1st down, and Kelly a bit banged up after that play.
Well, he came into the game with that sore hand, Joe. The hand was swollen. He had the cut on the middle finger, and we knew that he'd be struggling with that all day. And then just now he took a hit from George Kuntz.
Able to continue. How effective will he be? Andre Reed just tied a career high for most receptions in a game, 13, and he has 156 yards to go with him. Thurman Thomas, nothing. Steve McMichael there to throw him back.
Again, that's the kind of play you expect from those Green Bay Packers, that interior line, Steve McMichael, John Jurkovec. You expect those big, bulky guys in there in the middle to be just shutting down the run game. They didn't do it in the first half, but boy, we're seeing it. They're doing it now.
Second down and 9. Kelly over the middle, complete. Russell Copeland makes the catch. Actually, Damon Thomas, who was just signed off the practice squad, he's not on the 2 deeps, not on the 3 deeps. He's hard to find even in the media guy.
Well, we saw Don Davey, number 99 for the Packers, force Kelly to throw the interception just a little while ago, but I think the Packers are now missing Reggie White. He's out of the game with the sore elbow, and they're not getting that same kind of pressure that they're going to get with Reggie White in there just dominating, taking up two guys, and blowing them back into Jim Kelly's face.
Reggie White left with a banged-up left elbow. He's on the sidelines hoping to return. Kelly trying to scramble, just throws it away. And again, Kelly flat on his back.
Boy, if Sean Jones doesn't have those big, long stork arms, I think Jim Kelly gets around the edge to the corner and keeps running. Watch Jones here, racing upfield against Feeney. He rips under, he starts to come inside, he jumps up, and then he gets back out. Watch him stretch those arms. Boy, I mean, most guys, heck, you or me, we stretch our arms like that. Kelly's still running.
Now John Yurkovich is down and holding his right leg. So defensive linemen are dropping all over the place for Green Bay. They lost Reggie White for a couple of plays. They lost Sean Jones. Now John Yurkovich is down. And the defensive front for the Green Bay Packers cannot afford any more injuries. It's the defense that has helped keep Green Bay in this game in this second half.
Yeah, the defense has done exactly what you'd expect them to do.
One of the best defenses in the league asked to stop Buffalo. The Bills have it and the lead.
At Toyota, who invite you to experience the tranquility of the all-new Avalon. By Heineken, the #1 imported beer. Heineken, just being the best is enough. And by Braun Electric Shavers, for the world's most recognized shave.
For those of you who are just joining us, here is how we are now at the 27-20 score with the Bills out in front. The first half predominantly belonged to Buffalo, but here in the second half, it's been Bennett, a 5-yard touchdown catch, Sharp, a 26-yard TD catch to close it to within 7. Now with 8:57 left in the fourth quarter, the Bills have it. Second down, Andre Reed takes a seat at the 15, a career-high 14 catches in this game.
Well, we said earlier that Andre Reed had Buckley's number, and here you see it again. He's been mixing it, matching it upfield, makes the slant, breaks inside, and comes up with another big catch.
There was also a flag on the play. Illegal contact downfield by the Green Bay defense declined, and a first down for Buffalo at the Green Bay 15.
Heck, that's insulting. Andre Reed's running around out there beating Terrell Buckley, and he doesn't even have both the snaps on his chin strap buckled.
He has had a fantastic day. Buffalo record, 14 catches in a single game for Andre Reed. And now a first down at the 15. Delayed handoff to Thurman Thomas, and he is hit hard by Don Davey, the replacement for Reggie White.
Well, again, we see the replacement player, Don Davey, forced an interception before, and I said he wasn't getting that heat in Kelly's face, but boy, he got some heat in Thurman Thomas's face on that one. He put the whole burning fire in Thomas's face.
Davey still in. John Yurkovich is back into the game for Green Bay.
Look at Davey's face, too, man. He's pumped up. You see those that intensity? He's got the eyes narrowed, and he's puffing and puffing. He's ready to go.
Second down and 12 after a loss of 2. Kelly escapes the pressure and completes the pass, and now it's dropped. They say the receiver was down. There was no fumble. Copeland was hammered. A 9-yard pickup, and they ruled him down by contact.
Well, Gilbert Brown, number 93 for the Packers, just blew right up through the middle and got into Jim Kelly's face. However, Sean Jones did not hold up his end of the bargain because he's rushing on the outside. He's got to contain Kelly. Watch the hit on Copeland. Whack. Evans drops him, and Copeland drops the ball.
But ruled down, so no fumble. The Bills recovered it anyway, and they set up with a third down. And a whistle stops play, and Buffalo needs a timeout. Third down facing Jim Kelly and the Bills when we return. Leading 27-20 here in the fourth quarter with exactly 7 minutes remaining. And Buffalo faced with a 3rd and 3 at the Green Bay 8. What a day for Andre Reed. 14 catches, a Buffalo record. Reggie White can only stand and watch from the sidelines. 3rd and 3 for the Bills. Thurman Thomas brought down shy of a first down. He got 2. He's short by a yard. And Steve Christie will trot on to try the field goal.
Well, we talked about Don Davies being pumped up and having the intensity. He just comes all the way from the backside, races around, and grabs Thomas by the ankles to bring him down. He makes that play from the backside.
Don Davies has been an important part to this defense with the loss of Reggie White today. 25-yard field goal try here for Christie, who has missed only once all season. Christie's kick is no good. He hits the upright. And Green Bay will take over at their own 20.
Isn't that the way it always happens? You know, you get going and you think that you can't miss. It's a chip shot, and then you miss. Looked like a good hold, no problem, but it hits the upright.
That's the only problem. He hit that big yellow pole. Still a 7-point game.
Your legs are stretched far in front of you. A nice tea is nearby. Vivaldi begins to play, yet you feel a rush of adrenaline. Where are you?
That last field goal try by Christie hits the upright. Oh, what a catch by Sterling Sharp. Flag on the play. He hauls it in, runs out of bounds at the 25, but a flag comes flying out of the secondary.
Well, the sound of that ball hitting the upright is a kicker's nightmare. That's what they hear in the middle of the night when they wake up in a cold sweat.
This is going to cost the Bills 5 yards and a first down. And it'll move the ball up to the 25 as we get the call from Johnny Greer.
56, defense, first down.
So a first down from their own 25 is Darryl Talley, guilty of a hold. Morgan and Sharp split out wide to the left. Brooks out wide to the right. On first down, inside handoff to Bennett. Hit by Burris, the rookie. He picked up 5.
Part of running this San Francisco offense is having a guy from San Francisco, the all-pro Guy McIntyre. Watch him pull around and just stuff Mark Maddox in the hole. Watch him, or Talley. He stuffs Talley and frees up Bennett to get the 5 yards.
Now 2nd and 5. 5:18 and counting. Green Bay down 27-20. Barr steps up, gets rid of it, incomplete. Brooks, the intended receiver.
Well, the difference for Green Bay so far this half, Joe, as opposed to the first half, has really been Brett Favre. You saw him in the first half. He was throwing the ball behind his receivers. He was throwing the short route too hard. And then this half, we see him come out. We see him put the touches, the nice light touches on the short balls. We see him drilling those long balls in there accurately and not forcing his receivers to go back to try to pick the ball down.
Now faced with a 3rd and 5, and Green Bay 5 out of 10 on 3rd down today. That pass batted down. Morgan, the intended receiver. And it's time for Green Bay to punt. Jeff Wright got a hand on that pass.
That's a huge series for the Buffalo defense, because it was a huge series for the Green Bay defense to have the Bills drive down and then send them back to the bench without any points at all.
Now with just over 5 minutes remaining, Craig Hendrick on for his 5th punt of the day. Russell Copeland back deep for the Bills. Good snap. Good punt. And a fair catch called for by Copeland. And the Buffalo offense will take over after a 39-yard punt. Good hang time, and the Bills have it at their own 31, and they lead by 7.
By Dr. Pepper, your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
How ironic that in a great game between Green Bay and Buffalo, two of the greatest defensive ends in the history of the National Football League are standing on the sidelines and watching.
Yeah, the two marquee players that everybody came and wanted to see. I think it's a fascinating statistic that without Bruce Smith, the Bills have had a record of 12-2.
They lead 27-20. Thurman Thomas tries out the right side and picks up good yards. Brought down by Bryce Popp. He got 4.
Well, no doubt that Bruce Smith, back to him, is an impact player, and he adds so much to your team. So what that tells you, with that kind of record, 12-2, without Bruce Smith, it tells you about the character of this Buffalo Bills team. It tells you that they know when they lose a guy like Bruce Smith, everybody else has got to dig a little deeper, find a little bit more to make it happen.
They show Bruce's picture on the replay board here at Rich Stadium. Carwell Gardner, the fullback, picks up a couple. And it'll bring up a 3rd down for Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo just wants to keep the ball on the ground, grind it out, hang on to it. I mean, they're the ones with the lead. They don't want to start playing like they're behind. They've got the 7-point lead. They want to grind the clock down and just take it in and win this game. Marv Levy's dream is to just keep running down the field, just keep working it down, give it to Gardner, give it to Thomas, to take it in.
3rd down and 4. And flags stop play.
Ball start. 74, offense, prior to the snap, still 3rd down.
They flag Glenn Parker for a false start, and that's going to cost the Bills 5. At the end of the game, Tim and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Quite a few choices here today in Buffalo, and in a game which at the half was 27-6 Bills, now 27-20 Bills. This is a big 3rd down. On 3rd and 9, Kelly over the middle, Andre Reed. 1st down, Buffalo. What a day.
Well, Reed just had George Teague beat. He got him into a foot race. He beat him across the middle. Kelly delivered. The offensive line protected. And this is the way the Bills played the first half of this game, with precision.
Well, for two guys who were caught on camera yelling at each other on Monday night, I guess these two guys have patched things up. A 15-yard pickup and 15 catches today for Andre Reed.
When you want to make up, you don't send roses, you just send them the ball 15 times.
Now on 1st down, Thurman Thomas trying to pick his way through the line. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Jim Kelly told us yesterday, he said, I know where my bread is buttered. Andre Reed and I can yell at each other, and heck, we could probably get into a fist fight. It wouldn't matter because we're still going to work together. We know we're the heart of this Buffalo Bills offense.
The Green Bay Packers call a timeout. They are left with 2. The clock stops with 3:11 to play. And Mike Holmgren hoping for a defensive stop. And then to turn around and put the ball in the end zone. That's what it's going to take. Well, this Thanksgiving, Mad About You and Seinfeld won't be on, but Fox rocks this Thursday with Martin, followed by In Living Single. And then on Thursday, the Thanksgiving Day, in the afternoon, what a day on Fox. The Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, what a day on the Fox network. And we bring that to you Thanksgiving Day on Thursday.
You think Pat and John are going to be handing out turkey legs again?
I would imagine so. That is a tradition.
I never got one of those turkey legs when I played, but I tell you, I wish I did.
On 2nd down, Thurman Thomas Boy, he had nowhere to go, and he turned it into 2 yards.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go because Sean Jones, big number 96, just strung that play out nicely and just gave Thurman Thomas no sideline, no lane, and Thomas just has to cut it back and get whatever he can. Watch Jones on this. He gets into Metzelar's. He's got Fina pushing on him. You see that? That's how you string it out.
A pickup of 2 on the play, and the Green Bay Packers have to use a timeout. Meanwhile, down on the field is a Buffalo Bills player, and that's Thurman Thomas, who has 80 yards today on the ground with 31 carries.
Well, he's done the dirty work today. Thurman Thomas has run well, and he's run hard. You know, the interesting thing, though, and not to take anything away from the All-Pro Thurman Thomas, but, boy, when Kenneth Davis, his replacements come in, he's done a heck of a job. He's got 4.5 yards every time he's touched the ball, or that's his average throughout the season.
Well, he checks into the lineup as they take a look at the leg of Thurman Thomas. Jim Kelly has had an absolutely fantastic day. He came into the game with a banged-up throwing hand.
Yeah, that man right there, Joe, is tough as nails. I mean, you saw his hand. It was swollen. It was cut up. A lot of people, a lot of quarterbacks would say, hey, I can't play today because my hand will be affected and I won't be able to throw the ball quite as well. You can even almost see it there. That's the wrong hand. There it is. That throwing hand. You see a little discoloration on the back of it. I mean, that's painful for him to throw the ball all day. But, boy, he's thrown it, and he's thrown it well.
And painful for any Buffalo Bill player or fan to watch as they really gather around Thurman Thomas and check out his well-being. Meanwhile, Kelly yelling at someone over on the sideline. He is a fiery player.
Well, you see him barking at people, and he says, heck, I bark at people all the time, on the field, off the field. That's my temperament. I'm a competitor. I'm a winner. I want to win, and the guys around me know it. And they don't get flustered when I start barking at them or the coaches. Everybody around me knows I just want to win.
Exactly 3 minutes remaining in this game, and Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills are faced with a 3rd and 8.
Like I said before, when Jim Kelly gets protection from his offensive line, he gives them some nice cold cash. He said it's in $100 bills, and it gets up into the thousands, so that softens it up a little bit, too. If you get yelled at, but you see a big stack of bills on your seat when you come in from the game, it kind of makes it easy to take.
They have added 1 timeout back onto the total for Green Bay, so give them 2 now. They originally called a timeout, but they gave it back to him because of the injury to Thurman Thomas with the automatic timeout. So they're left with 2, and here's another big 3rd down. 3rd and 8. Kelly to the sidelines, incomplete to Billy Brooks, and again it's Doug Evans.
Well, Doug Evans against the Jets last week came up with the big play late. He covered his receiver. He did his job. He kept the Jets' Robert Moore from completing and from catching that touchdown pass and winning the game or tying the game for the Jets, and now you see it again here. In a critical situation, Doug Evans has stepped up, covered his man, and stopped the opposing offense.
Robert Brooks back to return the punt for Green Bay. He does have 1 punt return for a touchdown this season. Chris Moore, an end-over-end punt, taken at the 10, and then Brooks is hammered. Who else? Steve Tasker. Steve Tasker, the only MVP in Pro Bowl history as a special teamer.
Boy, when you're Brooks and you see the guy coming down, I can see trying to juke him, but you see 89, and if you know it's Tasker, you know it's a heat-seeking missile, and he's detected the heat, and he's going to zero in and lay the hit on you.
In a must game for both sides. What looked to be a possible blowout at the half comes down to Green Bay with 1 final possession. 2 timeouts, 2:24 left in the clock, down by 7. This is all they could have asked for going in at the half. Favre lobs it up. Incomplete, nearly picked off. The rookie Burris was there, and he just could not find the handle.
Well, it looked like a miscue between Favre and Sharp because I think Favre was throwing the jump ball. He thought Sharp was going to pull up short.
Brett Favre has missed on 6 passes in a row.
Well,
Not
remember
a good
in
time
the
to go
beginning
back into that cold.
That's right. We saw him cold in the first half, and I said he might get hot, and then he did get hot. Now he's cold again. He needs to get hot fast.
Favre, sack, no safety. Brought down just before he fell into the end zone. This is not a safety, but it's a big loss.
Well, it's tough to get hot. It's tough to turn up the flames when the Bills defense just keeps blowing out the pilot light on you, because that's what Jeff Wright does here. He just comes flowing right up the middle, bend it around the edge, and Jeff Wright, bringing Favre down, just snuffs out the light and keeps Favre ice cold.
3rd down and 19, facing the Green Bay Packers when we return.
Right, Buster? Guys, we're going in. Hit it.
Hey, is that a dog? That's right, Bob, a dog, and they're going to run the old pooch to the post. And now the guy with no helmet drops back to pass. Oh, great catch! Just like Miller Lite, Bob, you expect great things from the great taste that's never watered down. Touchdown, doggy. I have officially seen everything. Miller Lite, can your beer do this?
Third down and 19 for Green Bay from inside their own 1-yard line. And this rich stadium crowd into it, trying to help the Bills along to their 6th win of the year.
You see big Jeff Wright there, number 91. The life of the nose guard isn't always pretty, and it isn't always glorious, but he's got the Packers back down in there himself.
Flag on the play. Favre completes the ball to Morgan, but a flag on the play back in the end zone, and we may have a hold, which would result in a safety. We'll check the flag and Johnny Greer. This could result in a safety. Johnny Greer.
Holding, number 68, offense in the end zone. I have a safety.
Well, Joe Sims is working on Phil Hansen. You see him right there on the outside. You see Hansen slap down, and then Sims just goes down on top of him right there. When he puts the arm around Hansen's waist, and then you see him there, he tries to pull it back off like, hey, I didn't really have my arm around his waist. But the official was heads up. He saw it. He made the call. 2 points for the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills get 2. They'll get the ball back after the free kick, and that, in essence, ends this game. Marv Levy's Bills needed this game to stay above the 500 mark. They'll move to 6-5. Same record for Green Bay, 6-5, with a loss here today if Buffalo can hang on.
Well, the incredibly painful thing about that play and that holding penalty, Joe, is Favre delivered the ball to Morgan downfield, and they got the first down that they needed.
Following today's game, except in Minneapolis, Fox doubleheader action continues. The Philadelphia Eagles battle their former coach Buddy Ryan and the Arizona Cardinals, or the Atlanta Falcons take on the Broncos. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. Stay tuned to Fox Sports for more exciting doubleheader action. Another look.
Take a look at Phil Hansen there. He slapped Sims' arms off him. Watch the left arm. You see it? Comes right around his waist. That's the holding right there. And then he pulls it back, but too late. And that hurts Joe Sims, believe me. There's nothing more painful than that, to have the last play, the last chance for your team end because you get a penalty. He's just out there battling, trying to do every doggone thing he can to protect Favre so Favre can complete that pass. He goes just a little bit too far beyond the line and draws the flag.
Now we'll have a free kick by Hendrick. Russell Copeland is back deep for Buffalo, but the Packers line up in an onside fashion, strong to the left. Hendrick from his 20. And now the Packers having a tough time getting together as they wait for the whistle to resume play. And the Bills take care of it. Only fitting that coming out of that pile with the football is Andre Reed. What a day for Reed. What a day for Kelly. And the Bills will take over at the Green Bay 30. This game is presented by the authority of the National Football League. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the written consent of the National Football League and the Buffalo Bills, Mr. Kelly, is strictly prohibited. For those of you just joining us, you have no idea what that meant. Part of our tease at the top of the show. Carwell Gardner on first down, picked up 5. Well, a big effort today by Sterling Sharp, playing with the bad hamstring. Edgar Bennett playing with the knee and the shoulder.
And then you saw the replacement guys. Don Davey filling in for Reggie White, who got banged up, the sprained elbow. You saw him playing his heart out. And then you saw Oliver Barnett for the Bills, number 77, replacing Bruce Smith. You saw him playing his heart out. So this is a hard-fought heck of a football game. You couldn't ask for anything more on a Sunday afternoon, especially in Buffalo when the weather's warm.
Carwell Gardner on second down, picked up 3. The Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving will take on Dallas at Texas Stadium. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills are at Detroit on Thanksgiving. So a short work week coming up for each team. The Bills closing out a victory. Buffalo Bills leading 29-20, under a minute to go, and Buffalo has the football. They're faced with a third down, and this has been a hard-fought game.
Yeah, and a hard-fought game. You don't see it any better than you do with Kent Hull, number 67. Look at those pants. You don't think he's fighting hard in there? Heck, he's leaving blood and all kinds of things left out on the field and all over his pants. He's in there battling Yurkovich and Gilbert Brown and Steve McMichael.
On third down and 4, fighting for a first down, Carwell Gardner.
Look who's right there in the middle of it, Kent Hull. Heck, he's got Strickland, the middle linebacker, on his back. There's a tough guy who's just been fighting and working all day long.
The Buffalo Bills about to move to 6-5 in the AFC East, and the Packers 6-5 in the NFC Central. What a big day today for Jim Kelly. He tosses the ball to Johnny Greer. And our Miller Lite player of the game, Jim Kelly. 32 out of 44, 365 yards, a couple of touchdowns, 1 interception, and the 2 quarterbacks talk it over.
Yeah, and Jim Kelly doing all that with a hand that's smashed and swollen and cut and sore. He's a guy who's tough as nails, and when you got a quarterback like that in this league, it's no surprise that you've been to the Super Bowl, you've gone to the dance 4 years in a row.